Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Frontline Network's Company of Heroes 2 World Championship. It's been a grueling 3 days. We started off with 128 players on day 1 last Friday. There was 32 individual groups of 4 players. Only the very best from every group would be able to go through. But they did go through, and we were left with 32 players on Saturday, yesterday. Those 32 players were then narrowed down to 4. 4 players were left at the beginning of today, and we now have the semi-finals in hand. It's going to be an absolutely cracking night, guys. Get ready for some of the best games you've seen so far during this tournament. Bringing the action is, of course, myself, Tommy, and as always, FatalSaint.
What's up, Tommy in the Company of Heroes community? Welcome to the Frontline Network Company of Heroes 2 World Championship. And as Tommy said, 4 people left, the semi-finals. You're gonna see today the finals as well. Who's gonna be in the final, you ask? Who knows, but you're soon going to find out. And we had the 4 semi-finalists being Symbiosis, Zephyr, Aimstrong, and Marcus. Now that's some 4 big names, I gotta say.
It is indeed 4 big names, and not to mention, these are 4 COH1 names, so it looks like, after all our talk about the new school taking on the old school over the last couple of days, it does look like old school has won out, because no matter who goes on to win this tournament, it's gonna be somebody who's a big, well-known name from the old COH1 scene. So, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see. But tonight, we have a very, very special guest. I know we're a little late starting, so we do apologize for that, but don't worry, the wait is going to be worth it, because with us tonight is one of the players who played in our tournament, but he is not only a player, he is also a developer at Relic. It is the one and only Peter, the Balance Dev from Relic. What's up, man?
Hey guys, not too much. Excited to be here.
It's going to be absolutely fantastic having you here. Hopefully you'll be able to analyze some of the strategies and tactics we got going on, because we were watching your games you were playing earlier on the SNF channel. We were watching you played Marcus. I mean, those look like some pretty intense games.
Oh yeah, they're pretty intense indeed. Very good player, Marcus.
I mean, what do you fancy his chances? I mean, I don't know how much you know about Aimstrong, but that is going to be the first game that we do. What do you think about his chances going into these games against Aimstrong?
Marcus is good. I actually had I haven't played Aimstrong, so I mean I can't really comment on those two, but it should be interesting to see if he does beat Aimstrong. I think and Zephyr goes ahead as well. It'd be interesting to see those two go together.
It will be fun. It will be a lot of fun, and I think we should jump right into our first game. I know you guys are just begging to see our first game, and we're excited too. Me and Fatal are super excited. We really want to see what happens in these games tonight. Now, the map list we have, it's going to be Kolodny tonight. I know we've had a lot of different maps. We have a lot of map variation over the last couple of days. We've seen maps like the winter version of Pripyat. We've seen maps like Minsk Pocket. We saw some fun games on there between Alt and Applesaft last night. And we saw even Moscow Outskirts in our quarterfinals games. But now we are going to head over to our games on Kolodny Ferma.
Yeah, and the first games now in the semi-finals are all going to be played on Kolodny Firma Winter. And we also obviously have to mention, as always, as every single night he's showed up, the best caster from the good old Vico days, in my opinion. He's a rock. Call me Sarge. What's up, man?
Evening, gentlemen. Evening, Code 2 community. It's a pleasure to be here again, Fatal. I've just enjoyed watching these games so much. I'm really excited to be part of tonight's cast.
Yeah, and for the first game here, we're going to go ahead and actually shoutcast the first semi-final game between Marcus and Aimstrong. And for this game, you will have me, FatalSaint, and Tommy as co-commentators. So Sarge and Peter, you just hang out a little bit and we'll bring you on soon.
The doors have opened. We are now onto the fields, the wintry, chilly fields of Kolodny Ferma Battlefield. Fatal, are you ready at the 5-second mark to jump into this thing?
I am more than ready. I'm very, very interested to see if Marcus can bring Aimstrong down, or if Aimstrong's gonna keep going with his steamroller he's had during this tournament. And if you go ahead and check out the brackets, if one of our mods could kindly link that, you see that, you know, maybe some people will say, well, you know what, Aimstrong hasn't really had any strong opponents, etc., etc. But you gotta consider that Aimstrong played Noob No Skill, who knocked out Lolly, for example, so he's had some competition as well. But let's see if Marcus can bring that down.
I'm really excited now. I think we should jump into it from the 5-second mark. Starting in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Don't forget those nifty player names that's actually in the replay system, Tommy, so people can see who is playing who in this matchup. It's going to be Aimstrong taking on as the Soviets, actually.
Aimstrong, yeah, he's going to be playing the Soviets, which is interesting, because a fun thing to note, now, those of you who follow our TFN YouTube channel, the youtube.com/the Frontline Network, will know that we did an Expert Insight with, which is our little mini-series that we do. We get a player on, a very high-level skilled player on, to come and cast with us, cast one of their games, and walk us through what they were doing. And we had Aimstrong on as our very first Expert Insight for Company of Heroes 2, and he showed off his strategy then, which revolved around shock troops and sort of a couple of conscripts in the beginning, then shock troops, sort of avoiding building tier 1 and tier 2 where possible, and then getting tier 2 and then making his way to T-34s. He said in an ideal situation, he'd just go from conscripts to shock troops to T-34s, and that was how he won 99% of his games.
Yeah,
although
exactly.
in that particular one, it was actually a little different. Well, I can't remember what happened in that game.
It was versus Silence, and a lot of stuff happened in that game, but how about we maybe take that for another time and actually focus on this game now between Marcus and Aimstrong. And Marcus actually opens up with a good old Vico start of a double Pioneer opening, and a Grenadier is the first thing to hit the field from him, as I see that the second Conscript squad is now running onto the field from Aimstrong. And I know from talking to Aimstrong actually that he changed up his Soviet playstyle a little bit, because he actually got beaten by someone when he was practicing in auto match. So he revised his Soviet strategy. Denied. Marcus gets the building in the north at the fuel point. We did have Aimstrong actually trying to go for that building. He was basically standing right next to the doors, but the Pios were just one step ahead of him. So he actually has to vacate, and he's gonna just leave that engagement and go up and cap instead.
Back here in the middle, we've got Grenadiers against Conscripts. It looks like Aimstrong has split up his two initial Conscripts, and Marcus, although Marcus is keeping both his Grenadiers sort of fairly close together, so I don't know what he's planning to do there.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen here, but he was cut off from capping the northern fuel, while Aimstrong is actually capping the southern fuel. So he's going to have fuel dominance for a little while until those Pios actually vacate the house and go and grab that fuel. But I guess he might be a little bit afraid of actually Aimstrong's combat engineers coming back to nick that house, and that's going to stop that cap of the fuel as well. So I don't know, right now he's just stalling until he can move more stuff up north and keep capping, but he's not going to be able to do that because Aimstrong is putting on enormous pressure.
It's a rush
here
for
in
the church.
center.
It's a rush for the church.
He's gonna get
Aimstrong
in the
beats him
church.
to it. Oh no, that's a big loss there, losing that church in such a critical position.
Oh, can you angle your mic a little bit out, Tommy? Just angle it away from your mouth a little bit. If there's anything else, just say so in the chat, and one of my kind moderators, the Jeep, Ipkai Fung, and we have other moderators, Predators as well, for example, they relay messages to me all the time, so if you got something to say it in the chat, and we will take note of that. And we can't fix the Twitch lag. That's not on our end. I believe that Tommy basically didn't drop a single frame yesterday and there was still lag. It's just how it is. We apologize. We're trying to get the multiple transcodes enabled, but we need more followers. So hit that sweet purple button, follow the channel, and that's going to sort us out in the future. Multiple engagements, worker battle in the north. The Pios did vacate the house to get the fuel, but Aimstrong nicked it with his combat engineers. At the same time, we do see Marcus now putting his first 60 munitions into a flamethrower on one of his two Pioneers.
Aimstrong has actually opted to build his tier 1 building here, so maybe he is going to be following the scout car doctrine, which has been so prevalent in yesterday's games. We saw many a game won with scout cars, and in fact the only games where the Wehrmacht, where the Oster actually won, were the games where scout cars weren't really so prevalent. So I don't know, you know, the scout car tends to be the weapon of choice for Soviet players in this tournament and in this current patch.
Yeah, they are very powerful at this time, and you know, maybe we can grill Peter about that a little bit. I bet that he's under NDA when it comes to everything, but we can always try, you know. So if you guys have any questions, just type it in the chat, and one of our mods will take note of that, and maybe we can ask Peter that in the next game.
The first flamer has hit the field here from Aimstrong, uses that to force away a Grenadier. I know all eyes are probably going to be on Marcus here as the German player, because after seeing so many Soviet steamrolling victories yesterday, it really is all about who can play the Germans well. The Soviets seem to have a pretty solid strategy revolving around these scout cars and then into T-34s or Su-85s. They have a lot of options because they have a lot of good units out there. But the German players, they seem to be having a much tougher time of it. Either having a longer game and then eventually carving out a win for themselves, or having a very quick loss at the hands of a very strong Soviet opening. So it's going to be interesting to see how Marcus does. So far, hasn't taken any major losses. There haven't really been any major engagements. So I'd say on that side of things, he's actually doing okay.
Yeah, they're kind of dancing around each other right here. I like how Marcus is sticking all of his infantry together here in the south to basically deny the scout car to get an easy kill on a lone squad somewhere. He's basically sticking around with 2 Grants and that Flamer Pio, and an MG has actually been added. So his tier 1 is fairly large right now, instead of the usual, what you sometimes usually see at least, is a 4 tier 1 opening for the Austria, but he's actually gone for 3 conscripts and 2 MGs and 2 Pio, so that's a lot of infantry. Nice, Faust.
First Faust goes in, and the MG setting up as well, pointing at it right point-blank range here. This could be the loss of a scout car before it's even begun. This could be very dangerous here. It's getting very low. There's another MG flipping. Very nice MG flip there by Marcus up in the north, up near the church there. He does kill the scout car. So first scout car has gone down before even doing really a whisker of damage. That's a big blow to take this early on.
Yeah, Aimstrong, the first to actually suffer any form of proper casualty in the name of that M3 going down. But at the same time, he's doing good at the map control. He does have VP dominance, and it's actually putting the drain back on to Marcus, now down to 448. And we have a sniper out now from Aimstrong, so this is a little bit different.
This is a very... Whoa! Pioneer Flamer went down there.
Ouch.
It blew
His own
up.
flamethrower.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of smoke and flames there. It seemed to
Yeah,
just...
his
Oh, and a
tank blew
Grenadier
up.
squad goes down as well to focus fire there from Aimstrong. That's 2 squads lost in a matter of seconds there. One of them packing some pretty heavy equipment. That's a big loss there for Marcus to take. So I guess that kind of balances out the loss of that scout car. Both sides trading units.
Yeah, it's a good victory for Aimstrong right now. He needed that victory after losing that initial engagement with the M3 where he got fausted and then finished off by double MGs. He did a very nice attack and came in from the flank with low strength conscript squads, but they managed to actually hold on, nab the church building, polish off that Pio, polish off another Grenadier squad as well. So yeah, good win in that engagement for Aimstrong. You know, every little bit counts, and we've seen in both Vico and Company of Heroes 2 that one engagement can really be a deciding factor, you know, because it's going to turn into an uphill battle for your opponent.
MGs are back out into the field now, focusing around this church. Looks like Marcus is going to turn the southern part of this map into his early Ostia stronghold, and his first vehicle has now hit the field. He's got himself a scout car, not upgunned yet. Is he actually buying the upgun to prepare for more M3s?
No, he's not doing it right now. He doesn't have the munitions required. He just hit 60 munitions, so he will be able to do so if he finds that he wants to do it. But it might be a reaction to the sniper from Aimstrong, for example. I'm not exactly sure. It's also very versatile, as you can decide to use 60 munitions to become an M3 counter. But not if you get 18 like that.
Yep, the first 18A goes in, so that's going to neuter that. Oh, and the fire flamer goes down. Another squad lost.
The knight. D9,
7
and he
kills
drops the
already
flamer.
on that sniper. This early sniper from Aimstrong really putting in the hurt. 8 kills now, doing a lot of damage to these MG crews. They're very expensive to reinforce. I mean, Marcus is really taking a pounding this early.
Yeah, what's going to be really important is how long that sniper will actually survive. I liked how he Urad grabbed the flamer and runs
and carried
back to the
on
scout
running.
car.
Yeah, it was
And
totally
18
seamless.
yes,
Oh!
well.
Scout car
Huge
goes
victory.
down. There's just
nice
loss
rifle.
after loss, and now the guards are here in the middle. There is a backstop MG that's going to suppress them, but even so, Marcus is getting totally pounded right now. He's taken an awful lot of losses. After what seemed like an initially promising start, killing that scout car with some very nice MG flipping, he has not managed to capitalize, and now he's really paying for it.
Yeah, the thing is, he won that very early engagement with the scout car, destroyed that, and he was looking good. But at the same time, you always have to consider that, you know, during that time, he was actually pushed back because he basically blocked up his forces to deny the N3 to harass a single squad somewhere. But when
bundle
you're
in the
doing
church.
That, nicely dodged.
Nicely
When
dodged.
you actually do
Very on
that
the ball.
and stick together with your squads, you also give up map control.
Sniper's back in the field. Oh, they could get the killing shot on from this MG42. He's just going to get out of range there. That
Another
sniper
scout
is
car out from
using-
Marcus.
Wow, the sniper actually has a sprint ability. That's his Vet 1 ability.
Yeah,
is
vet one,
sprint.
vet one.
That's quite powerful.
I've never actually seen anybody use it in replays. I've seen vet 1 snipers, vet 2, vet 3, everything, and very, very few players use the sprint ability. But we do see that Aimstrong uses everything he can use in his arsenal, and I think he's just one of these players that adapt very fast. I've talked to him. He adapted his Soviet play because he lost to one player. One single player managed to beat him in auto match when he was practicing, and that prompted him to adapt his whole gameplay. You gotta give him some props for that, seriously. Most people will do one tactic, they will be very successful with that tactic and lose to very few people, but never adapt because you're generally very successful. Aimstrong, he aims to be successful against everybody.
I think he's got a bit of a perfectionist streak in him because he's gone through so many of these games unbeaten. We should mention, up until this point, he has gone through with an entirely clean sheet. He has not conceded a single game, unlike I think all of the semi-finalists have conceded at least one game in their series up until this point.
Yeah, I believe Cepha lost one to Twister. They went 2-1, and I believe
Symbiosis lost one to Stevo, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Stevo in round 3. No, round 4, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, round 4. So all players except Aimstrong have conceded at least one game. He might be just trying to keep this a clean sheet, but we can see now Marcus is far from out of this. He is a very strong player in his own right, and he's coming back into this. He is grabbing himself back territory, and he's got his half-track out into the middle, so no doubt, no prizes for guessing what he's going to turn that into.
Well, right now he can't afford it. He's spent munitions on a lot of things, bundle nades for example, and rifle nades as well, so he's not actually going to be able to afford to turn that into a Flammenwerfer for a while. He's only got a 21 munitions income with 60 in the bank, and that requires 120 munitions, so he's only halfway there barely, and it's going to be another 3 minutes. 3 minutes is a very long time in Company of Heroes standard.
That is a long
so
time.
He's not going to be able to do that.
That's gonna hurt him because you can imagine that's probably what he bought it for is to get that
forward reinforcement
really,
as well.
Well, yeah, there's forward reinforcement when you've got these 4-man PGs. I mean, those snipers, or I should say sniper, there's just one of them. He's already got 15 kills, and a lot of those are P-Grens and MG crews, so he has probably made his cost back already.
Oh, Scout Car gets 18
Nice,
aided,
18 aid.
very damaged up in the north. He gets vet 1, but it doesn't actually give him anything that can save him. It only gives him the ability to use the infantry awareness. So, yeah, I think that might be
Small
polished
arms
up by
will
small
probably
arms now.
finish it. Yep.
Yeah, a new conscript squad comes in. Ura's in to get close enough. He retreats his 2-man squad, and 18 aids that Scout Car. Another Scout Car down for Marcus right now. His army is shrinking and growing at the same time. Nice bundle in the church. Doesn't even take out the flamer on that conscript.
No, it didn't do a whole lot. I think it's because the church is just so big. But he does kill a lot of the units off on that PG. He does force a retreat there. I can hear the guards rifles firing down here in the south as well. An MG crew was forced to pack up and retreat.
Engineers are pinned. MGs are opening up all over the place, and Aimstrong is actually forced to retreat a little bit over everywhere on the map, both in the center and both in the bottom center as well. We do have it. Look at that! Sniper sprint used to get around the hit to get at that MG.
Nice use.
Aimstrong, you impress me. Seriously, I got a little bit of a bro crush on that guy right now.
Bit of man love.
A bit
of man love.
Very impressive to
A
see
healthy
him
bit
use
of
all
man
the
love.
abilities.
But here we go. Marcus is going after that sniper here. He's got the hard track lined up on him. There's guards rifles, but they were suppressed, so they weren't able to fire back. Oh, were they pinned, in fact?
They were pinned.
Damn.
They couldn't move at all. They couldn't nade or use their PTRS rifles or anything.
But you got to be careful though when those 18 nades are around. That sniper, he gets out of dodge pretty quick.
Are you seeing that with the pack? He's actually using attack move on that building with the pack box.
He really doesn't want...
He's had enough of that church. Aimstrong, get out of the buildings on my side. I'm going to destroy it so no one can use it.
Oh, and another MG is decrewed here. I think, yeah, Aimstrong is going to oorah, not taking any chances here. He's going to oorah over to that MG to steal it before that half track can come along and ruin his days. That's a nice bit of heavy equipment stolen. And the first tank has hit the field. It's the SU-85. Tier 4 has just come up out of nowhere from Aimstrong.
That's so quick. Where did that come from? 14 minutes into the game, he's got an SU-85 that's cost 140 fuel, plus the 90 fuel for the building, and he even went tier 1 and built one scout car also, so I'm not exactly sure. He has had map dominance, especially the southern fuel has been in Aimstrong's possession for the almost entire game, I think. But we do actually have Marcus doing a little bit of a territory comeback at least. He's getting some of the territories back. He's put the drain back on Aimstrong, now down to 364, and you gotta always remember that if it goes to a third deciding game, VPs is everything, because the VPs will give you the choice.
Yeah, VPs are indeed the name of the game. You gotta keep tabs on them. It's incredibly important in these first 2 games to make sure you aren't slipping up on those VPs. Otherwise, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass, and you might not get the faction that you want going into your 3rd game.
Ooh. He's got a mortar out now, Marcus, actually from his tier 1 building. He's not really fuel star, but he hasn't actually teched anything. He's got his tier 1 and tier 2 building in the base, but nothing else so far. So he's decided to use his manpower to get a mortar on the field. I'm not exactly sure if that's for the stolen MG and to bombard buildings, for example. He can't use his pack to destroy every building on the map.
It could be maybe sort of a soft counter to the sniper. Keep the sniper moving. Don't let him get too mobile, too comfy. But already, look at that. 17 kills already. Or, I mean, I've never even seen a sniper in Code 2 with that many kills. You don't see them get that many kills in Code 2 because they're a lot harder to use and they're a lot easier to kill.
Yeah, not in 1 versus 1 at least. I've seen snipers in 2v2s. I think we've done a few casts of 2v2s where they get some veterancy and kills, etc., etc. Because it's easier to defend them when there's 2 defending, you know, instead of just yourself. But apart from that, it's not that easy.
Look at this huge pressure being applied here by Aimstrong. He's got Marcus all clumped up around this single building here. This is his little stronghold. He's got 1 VP, but both fuels are in Aimstrong's hands, and he continues to cap up in the north as well. Pretty soon, he's going to have Marcus down to just 1 sector besides his base.
It's not looking good right now for Marcus. He's trying to extend out, but there are units everywhere just guarding and reacting to wherever he goes. The snipers come and start taking pot shots. And we did actually have a mortar from Aimstrong now, that 120mm mortar out from him, maybe as a counter to the German mortar, I'm not sure. Maybe to the pack and, you know, future MGs, as Marcus only has 1 left, but it's still good for that.
Yeah, well, actually, no, that's no regular mortar, Fatal. That is the 120 mil mortar. That means, of course, that Aimstrong has gone down the doctrine, which gives him the double call-in of T-34 85 mils, those up to T-34s.
Yeah, it's the guard motor coordination tactics. It gives you that 120mm mortar and guards, obviously, as you see on the field already from Aimstrong down south here, fighting these 2 Grens combined with this conscript squad Vet 2 now. So he's getting some veterans here in his army as well, compared to Marcus's army, which is mainly Vet 1 for his infantry only. But you also get Mark vehicle ability, which is really good, and the vehicle crew repair. And as you said, those dual T-34 85s, not to be sniffed at.
Especially with crew repair thrown in. I mean, geez, you got a lot of firepower right there. And, you know, it's really refreshing. You know, normally in the games that we saw yesterday, it was hit the dirt, hit the dirt, hit the dirt, hit the dirt everywhere with PPSH conscripts. But
he does not do that.
He's not using hit the dirt. But, you know, if he thought that hit the dirt was going to be the most effective way to play, I know that's what he'd do. So he must simply think, you know, I don't need hit the dirt. I would rather have whatever this doctrine gives him. I don't know what it is precisely about this doctrine that he really likes. Maybe it's the double T-34s, maybe it's the crew repair at the end, maybe it's just having guards and a really powerful mortar, because he did build that mortar. It's got no kills yet, it's sitting all the way in the backfield, but it's there.
Look at the range on that mortar. He can fire all over the map almost. It's an insane range on that mortar. 1 of the 2 guys in the sniper team goes down, and Aimstrong instantly retreats and gets out of there.
Marcus down to a single point now.
Yeah, he's gonna lose that one as well.
An Oswind. Interesting.
Oswin on the field from Marcus now, so he did finish his tier 3. But we know already there's an SU-85 on the field. That Oswin's not gonna be able to kill that. Maybe if he gets around them and gets some nice shots on the rear armor, but it's gonna be a prolonged engagement. And as soon as Aimstrong gets back up, he's gonna be forced away anyway. So I'm not exactly sure about this Oswin.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if he's gone for tier 3, then it was either a choice between this, the Stug, or the P4. So I don't. Whoa, what was that? Was that the 120 mil mortar? Oh wow!
Mortar.
When that thing hits, it really
Like
hits.
an artillery shell.
Oh boy, a rear armor hit from the SU actually damages the engine. And
Nice,
my god,
critical.
that mortar sounds like a goddamn bomb or
It's
something.
an artillery piece, basically. It's not far from it. The explosion sure looks like artillery. Look at that.
Well, the pack's now opening up on the SU, so Marcus isn't totally without a counter. And wow, look at that. 2 hits already, doing good damage. That's a nice use of the pack there by Marcus.
Ooh.
3 hits, taking it down to about 25% health. Very painful indeed. And
Luckily-
a conscript is forced away.
Yeah, luckily for Aimstrong, that Ostwind is out of commission until it gets its engine back. It's not going to be fast enough to respond to anything, so his SU is going to have just enough time to get repaired back to somewhat of a good health meter again. But yeah, I don't know, taking those 3 shots from the pack on the SU is going to put him out. It's going to be dangerous to put him back on the front line when he knows that pack is still there.
Oh, Sniper and Mortar team are going to work. Sniper team now has 24 infantry kills. That is pretty nuts for a Code 2 Sniper. 25.
Aimstrong is dominating on the VPs right now. Marcus just went below 200 VPs, so there's not an amazing amount left on this game if he doesn't get the VPs under control, and right now it's just not looking like that.
Sniper, I can just see the radius coming towards me very quickly down here in the south, so that was another use of sprint there.
He is making good use of everything. Now he's buckling the
button
Ostwind with
with
his
18
guards,
aids as well.
sprinting. Yeah, Ura on his conscripts. You know, you see some players use Ura a lot, and you see some players never use it. It's very different, and Aimstrong obviously has chosen to use every single ability that's available to him. He's using everything in the arsenal that he can use. He's going to win this tournament. I know that his mind is set on that.
He's going to win this tournament, do you say? You
Yeah,
want to take
he
a
wants
bet?
to win it. I'm not betting on anything, man. I just forked out $1,000 to the guy who wins. I got no money left to bet with.
Jesus, that mortar.
Ooh, we have a flare used by the sniper team. I just saw them fire it.
Oh,
There it
very
goes.
nice.
at
It's over on the
cutoff.
other side of the hedge as well, so he's
Yeah,
got all
yeah.
that vision. I can actually turn on the fog of war here, and you can see, despite True Sight technically blocking him from there, he's using that to see over the hedge, and he can see the Oswind, he can see the MG42 if it comes over to him.
So awesome. Yeah, and I just turned on fog of war for Marcus, and he can't see anything. He just sees a sniper in the fog of war picking away on his MG and P grants.
Whoa,
He
whoa,
might be in trouble. Very low
Whoa,
health.
negative cover
Got
road!
Whoa, running back, and that T-34 came in the nick of time. Where did those guys come from? He's
That's the
double
off map.
call-in.
That's the
Yeah.
double call-in. Here we go. It's not cheap. It's 720 manpower, 260 fuel. It is pricey, but what you get is a lot of tank for your money.
Yeah, no build time, no nothing, no building required. So he can get T-34s without the T3 building. And these are actually the bigger brother of the normal T-34, 74. So this is the 85 version. Bigger gun, better armor. I'm not exactly sure about the health, but I know that the armor and the gun is better.
Oh
I think
boy.
the gun is actually twice the strength of the normal one. Normal one doing 80 damage, and this one doing 160. But the reload is longer, etc. So I think the DPS are fairly equal.
Yeah, it has 800 health in the T-45.
Oh, there is higher health on the T-34. 85.
Oh, so
Yeah,
they're
it
actually
actually
they're stronger in health-wise as well.
Yeah, it actually has better scatter too. So it will hit him pretty more accurately.
Oh wow!
Interesting.
So it's basically better in just about every way.
It's also pricier, however, I believe. What was
It is pricey.
200
Well,
fuel
yeah. I
for
mean,
two,
the
so-
double call-in is it's expensive.
Yeah. Basically makes them 100 fuel each. But yeah, these T-34s right now basically...
They have no counter. No, I mean he can pop a Faust off with them, but Marcus is sort of driving into the corner of the map here. But there's nothing up here. It's just I don't know. It's just infantry here. They're gonna get totally mopped up. It's anything they can do to avoid the barrel of this T-34.
upgrading to Shreks. He's got almost 120 munitions, so he could possibly upgrade his Pigrams with Shreks, but, you know, he could fight off one T-34 with that, but when 2 comes in, plus snipers and backup, no way. It's too little. These poor Pyos with the sweepers are just running in, got nothing to defend himself with, and almost gets taken out, but actually manages to dodge the tank shell, and that Su-85 is now on the flank as well, just looking for something that potentially could come up there.
All these tanks just rolling around uncounted. There's still no counter from Marcus. I think that last little move there with the tanks, that was the blitzkrieg that's going to finish this game and put it away here for Aimstrong.
There's just not enough AT now with 3 tanks on the field, 2 T-34-85s and that Su-85. You know, he's got a pack out, but there's still the sniper. He's at large. He's got 29 kills, Vet 2, fairly close to Vet 3 as well. You can see a little XP bar actually, how much is left for him to hit the last veterancy level. And with that scout car out of commission, out of control, gets taken out while out of control as well. There's not that much left in Marcus' arsenal now. He's got 1 pack and 2 Shreks.
The one thing that Marcus does have going for him, though, is that he did manage to take 140 or so VPs off of Aimstrong. So, you know, he's sitting in a fairly decent VP position. It's not great, it could be better, but at the same time, at least it's not a 500 VP clean sheet win either. So, if he can just put in a really solid Soviet performance and pull that one out with a nice, comfortable win, he can pull this one into a 3rd game where he has choice, and presumably he won't want to repeat this German performance again.
No, of course not. It didn't work out. It looked fairly good in the early game. He got the M3, and then it looked worse when he lost a Pio and a Gren, and then after that it's been a little bit of an uphill battle. He managed to get some map back and then rapidly lost it again. Right now he's fighting a losing battle, down to 49 VPs. The tick just keeps going. He's triple capped. He's trying to leave his base. He can't. There's everything in the way. T-34 under fire from the Shreks. They're gonna get in the little shack. It's always dangerous getting in buildings with no help.
Destroyed that shack as well. The sniper's still popping away.
T-34 just shot straight through the building and missed all of the walls.
Oh,
that was lucky. Pack opening up on the T-34. It is in trouble. He might get a scalp here.
It does go
finally.
down. So there's a little break for him, but here come the snipers to pick away. Oh no. Oh no!
Oh! What happened? What's mortar? 120mm mortar just took him out on retreat, and now he's bombarding that pack as well.
That sniper is now Vet 3 with 33 infantry kills. He's got an increased rate of fire, and he's even stronger to kill, so that is one tough Vet 3 sniper right there. It's one tough motherfucker.
He's gonna use the flare again to look into the enemy base. Is there something there that can kill my tanks, or can I just go on ahead and roll in now? Aimstrong wants some intel, and he uses every ability he can all the time. He's gonna actually tell him that there's just a little bit of infantry leaving Marcus' base now, down to 1 P-Gren, a Gren, and a Pio Sweeper plus that mortar.
And we're down to 9 VPs now. This one is most definitely been put to bed now with an amazing performance by Aimstrong with these Soviets. But then again, of course, you know, we did see a lot of Soviet wins yesterday, so maybe Marcus is just really, really solid with his Soviets, and maybe he's gonna bring a really solid performance as well, an even better one, you know, in terms of VPs.
Yeah, I'm very interested in seeing if Aimstrong is the man that can break a Soviet strategy. I know that Marcus likes his M3s. He even got one combination named after himself as a Marcus car, M3 with guards in it. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Aimstrong can break that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting indeed. We are going to be right back in just a minute. We're just going to switch over to Game 2 from this series between Marcus and Aimstrong from the semi-finals of our World Championship tournament. It's going to be me and Peter bringing you the next game, so don't go anywhere, guys. It's going to be great.